Right then, selfish video, my car, dyno time. So today is the day that half of England shut down because it snowed for probably 10 minutes. So there's bits of snow falling off car when we're strapping it on and stuff, so not ideal, but I'd just been and picked this up and it was warm and stuff, so made sense to do it now, so I don't have to mess about because it is freezing outside. So if you've not seen the other Porsche Panamera video, this is a new one. Hello, where have you been hiding? 4 litre V8, this is like the SQ7 engine but without any of the 48 volt stuff. Really good engine, should do 415 horsepower roughly and 625 pounds-feet of torque, something like that. But we've got it on our dyno, we'll see what it does on there. As always, a dyno is a tuning tool, not something that's set in stone. Usually our dyno reads a little bit less or bang on. See what's happened today. So we've got near 700 pounds-feet of torque and we're up at 449, 455 depending which graph. And the graph looks a little bit wavy and see, but I think Matisse reckons that the suspension's just moving a bit. It's on air, so he just wants to reset every time he turns dyno on and straps it and plays about, and every error's coming up because it's running on dyno. But the other one that we did had quite a bit of a dip like the SQ7s do, and this one doesn't seem to be doing it, so whether this is working better and they weren't working, or whether this isn't working, I don't know. But we're going to do a tune on it, we'll see what we can get. I'll leave it a surprise what the last one did if you've not seen it, but it's hopefully going to start with a 5. And this is going to be stock hardware, just literally a tune. What we do further, stick in the notes what you think we should do. But been talking to a guy from Poland who's got one of these since I said I was going to get one. And I think he saw that we'd bought one. And he was talking about the oil pressure and stuff. So I'll not go inside the car because there's that many errors come up. You can't see it at the minute. It takes a minute to get that sorted. But basically, he were really keen on saying to get the oil pressure lifted on these, which when we've looked, there's a few maps in there and a lot of control going on the oil pressure, and when that sort of stuff's happening, you know it's all about the emissions and not about keeping your engine alive for 250,000 miles. So like old engines, they'll have a little ball with a little spring, and that's the oil pressure relief valve, and that'll be, the pump will be pumping away all day, and that'll just be opening and closing and maintaining 3, 4, 5 bar oil pressure depending what car you've got. I don't know what normal cars are always doing, but we like a lot of oil pressure. When this is cruising, it can be as low as 0.6 bar oil pressure, which is ridiculous. So if your oil's 25,000 mile old, and it's thin crap as well, because everybody's putting stupid oil in the cars, that's not a lot of oil pressure. So I don't think the wear's going to occur at the top end of the oil pressure map, which is 3.5 bar, but it's definitely going to occur at that low end. It's quite a bit of a delay in it meeting set point, so you could be cruising along and the oil pressure's happy down at 1 bar, just less than 1 bar, just a bit above 1 bar, whatever it's fluctuating up and down at, and then you punch it and you might be at full torque, which obviously you can see happens as soon as it gets any throttle, and your oil pressure's not going to have caught up. So we're going to lift that up to the minimum's going to be sort of roughly 2 bar, and we might put the maximum up to 4 bar-ish, something like that. Tell us if you think that's wrong. We should have a little play. I think playing with a 40 grand engine's probably not the best idea, but Chris in Poland, he's killed an engine because he didn't play with that stuff, so he said that he'd recommend that. And there's a fix on the engine as well, put some pictures of that. There's an upgraded oil pump sprocket, but that's an engine art job. I don't know whether I want to do that. Chicken and egg, which one killed Chris's engine? I don't know. But yeah, he's playing about with some other stuff as well and said he'll let us know the outcome, but not sure what we want to do. Obviously this is like a sort of bi-sequential turbo setup, so whether we could get away with making one turbo bigger and leave the other, I don't know, we'll see. Let's see what power it does first. We'll talk about what we're going to do when we decide what we're going to do later. So, today's a new day. I'm in my civvies because I'm not really meant to be working, but I've got loads of work to do. So anyway, Matisse has worked his magic on this. He's used all the fuel in the car, so we need to take it off to get some fuel and to road test it and see what it's doing, because the last one did some different stuff on the road to what it did on the dyno, so we don't want to be chasing the dyno when we'll be getting what we want on the road. But there should still be a bit more in it. So if you look here, we've gained pretty much 90 horsepower and probably 100 pounds-feet of torque, something like that. I think it'd be nice to have more torque, but this is a dual clutch transmission. It's an 8-speed, but everybody keeps saying it's the ZF8. It's not the automatic. It's a Porsche PDK, DCT, whatever you want to call it. So we can't push it too hard. We can probably gain more. Maybe we will for a dyno run, but whether we want to have that or not, you can tell when you kick the gearbox down, it's really soft on the way as it gives the power back. It kicks the gear down quick, but you only get the power, all the power, sort of fairly softly. So we don't want to push us luck anyway. If Porsche have done that standard, there's a reason. And we're struggling to read this gearbox as well, which we did on the last one, and we're struggling on this even despite using some different tools. So whether we can improve the gearbox, I don't know. You don't need to change any quicker, but it'd be nice to at least be able to get in there and have a little play. But yeah, I think with a bit more playing, Matisse reckons we'll be able to smoothen this dip out a little bit, even though most of the driving you'll do, unless you stick it into manual and rev it from 1600, you probably wouldn't do that anyway. You put it into manual and you'd be here anyway. But he thinks he's going to get a bit more here, which obviously again is a bit more here, flatten things out a bit. Maybe get 550. I think 550 would be nice as it is. The turbos are big enough to do 550, 225 horsepower per turbo. These turbos, if we put them on a car, we'd be expected to get near, on a 2 litre, we'd be expected to get nearer to like 280s, 300. So the turbos are not pushed at this. Obviously, this is all still going through the DPF and all that sort of stuff, and it's getting a little, I won't say blocked, but the soot loading's up at 20, 25 grams as it is. So when I put some fuel in it, get it to regen, and it might do 550 anyway. So let's see. And if we get more, we'll do more. I don't think we'll film this road test next because we're going at fuel station. But when it's finished, we'll get some road testing.